Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I've gotten a lot of questions regarding the difference between the core tackle scamper rig and the core tackle hover rig. Now, they both work insanely well with your traditional soft jerk baits like the fluke right here, but there is a little bit of difference with respect to how you use it. Now, this comes down to the situations that you're fishing, but I've gotten a lot of questions regarding this. So I figured I would go ahead and address it to try to help you guys pinpoint when you should throw the scamper rig over the hover rig. Now, in reality, a fluke is just one of the best baits to throw. So from that best baits to throw year round, pretty much anywhere in the country. So having said that, I don't think you're going to go wrong with either setup. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on them so that you knew when and where to throw them. So one of the first things that you need to recognize is that when you're talking about the hover rig, so if I hold this, the hover rig has a 90-degree jig head. So your pull point is going to be different than your scamper rig, which has a straight shank hook. The difference there is with the hover rig, when you pull up on it, the bait's going to want to rise up and shoot to one of the sides, left or right. And that just has to do with how the water comes over the front of the bait. And that's going to just naturally mean the bait's going to pull off to one of the two sides. With the scamper rig, because the pull point is straight on, it's going to come right at you. It's literally going to come into the direction of the rod tip. And from that standpoint, you're not necessarily going to get the darting motion from pulling on the bait. You pull on the bait with the hover rig, it's going to move left and right. You pull on the bait with the scamper rig, it's going to come right at you. That's one of the biggest differences. With respect to the scamper rig, this was really designed around a method where a lot of anglers fish flukes fast. They'll either use a long sweeping motion of the rod and then kill it and then pull again, or they'll burn the reel handle. So that bait, when it's coming at you, is coming fast at you and it's got a really tight wiggle. And then when you kill it, either with your reel handle turn or you hit the end of your sweep, the bait's going to just glide off to one of the two directions. If you retrieve a hover rig really fast like that, the bait's not going to function right. It's actually probably going to just want to spin because you're reeling it at such a fast point, and the pull point's got the bait like that your bait's just going to spin all over the place. So with your hover rig, really what you're looking to do is take your fluke and just give it twitches. You're going to fish it very slow, more methodical. Maybe you've got a flat that you know there's a lot of fish on, or maybe you've got an isolated piece of target and you're just going to twitch it, pop the rod tip, and you're going to get really nice kind of almost like walk the dog movements. It's going to have very erratic, quick darting action. If you let it fall, it's going to go into a gliding motion or a spiraling motion, kind of your dying shad type look. But it's really going to be meant to be fished in a much slower manner. Lots of twitches, lots of just kind of working a soft jerk bait, letting that bait just kind of swim all over the place. The scamper rig is going to be your fleeing bait fish movement where you're retrieving it and it's vibrating. And then when you kill it, it's just going to go either left or right. If you let it sit there, you can work it slower. You can let it fall to the bottom and it'll still have that same gliding motion. But when you move it again, like when you pick up on the rod tip, you're not going to have a quick dart left or right like you would with the hover rig because your pull point is pulling the bait directly at you. So generally speaking, if I'm fishing, like I said, isolated targets, or I think I know where the fish are at, or the fish are a little bit more lethargic, I'm going to fish the hover rig just from that standpoint where I can just kind of slowly work it around the cover. We do have the weedless model like this guy right here. You can see it's got the weedless model so you can fish it around cover. And I'll also use that to fish deeper. So if I think the fish are deeper, we've got a lot heavier weights to get you down to some deeper depths and be able to twitch it around, walk the dog, kind of get that dying fluke motion at deeper levels. The scamper rig only comes in light sizes, and really the key here is to keep the bait under the surface of the water and keep it from blowing out. If you took a weightless fluke and you retrieved it really fast, or you sweeped your rod at a quick movement, a lot of times what will happen is that fluke will blow out of the water, and that's not necessarily what you want. You almost want it to work almost more like a wake style bait where it's right under the water and it's just scurrying along the surface. So generally speaking, I'm going to be fishing this much closer to the surface. You can still fish it slow. The thing is, it's so light that it's not necessarily going to be allow you to get down to those deeper depths. It's almost like fishing. It's a hair more than your traditional weightless fluke or soft jerk bait. So from that standpoint, you just got to recognize really where and when to use it. If I'm throwing the Scamper rig, it's going to be on long, shallow points, long, shallow flats, or flats where I know the fish are going to come up and eat something on the surface. I'm just generally fishing it at a faster pace, really trying to take advantage of either active fish or fish that you need to have a reaction strike to get them to bite. And that quick fleeing motion is one of the things that really makes it a great approach. But there's a lot of times you can throw both. There's a lot of times where one will excel over the other. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. Both of them are going to provide you with a great opportunity to catch in some fish. Doesn't matter the species you're fishing for, all species really will eat a fluke. But this is just one of those things where I know the hooks don't have a huge difference, but there's definitely a time and a place where I think the Scamper rig or the hover rig are the options that you're going to want to be going for. So hopefully this answers those questions that I've been getting, because since we came out with the Scamper rig, we did have a handful of questions regarding that. I also want to point out that the Scamper rig has is at Tackle Warehouse now. So if you're looking to pick those up, you can do that at Tackle Warehouse. Not sure how long they're going to have them. Not sure when our next allotments come in, but just make sure you pick some up while you can. I'll put the link in the video description. They also obviously have the hover rig as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the support. Stay tuned. We'll have a new video tomorrow for you.